This is a story about understanding that every choice you make in secret as a man is building the man you will become in public. Part 1. The foundation. 5 years earlier, Tunde and Kunle were both 14 when they became best friends. They lived in the same compound in Surulere, Lagos, a decent middle-class area where parents worked hard to give their children better lives than they had. Both boys attended the same secondary school. Both had dreams. Both had potential. But here is what most young men don't understand until it's too late. Potential is just a seed. What you do with it determines whether it becomes a tree or rots in the ground. Tunde's father was a civil servant. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., Mr. Adeyomi would leave for work. Every evening at 8 p.m., he'd return, exhausted but purposeful. Tunde watched his father's hands, rough, calloused, honest hands that had never stolen a kobo in 30 years of service. His father earned modest money, enough to feed the family and pay school fees, nothing more. Kunle's father was different, owned a successful importation business. Money flowed. The family lived comfortably. New cars every year, annual trips, abroad designer clothes. Kunle never lacked anything material. Here is the first lesson though. Your environment can make or break you. And ironically, comfort breaks more boys than hardship ever does. At 14, both boys stood at the crossroad they didn't even know existed. The choices they would make in the next 5 years would determine everything. Their character, their future, their destiny, their very survival. Part 2. The small choices that reveal character. The incident that showed everything. It was a sweltering Saturday afternoon when everything began to reveal itself. The boys were outside their compound when they heard Mama Ngozi, an elderly widow who sold provisions from a small kiosk, crying out that somebody had stolen 15,000 naira from her store. 15,000 naira to Kunle, that was pocket money, sha. To Mama Ngozi, it was everything, both the rent, money, her grandson's school fees, food for the month, medicine for her arthritis. Tunde immediately organized a search. He rallied other young men in the area, checked corners, asked questions. He understood something profound. A person's value isn't measured by what they have, but by how much they care about what matters, what others have lost. Kunle stood aside, scrolling through Instagram. When Tunde asked him to help the search, he shrugged. It's just 15,000 naira. My father could give her double and not notice. Why is she disturbing us Saturday? In that moment, something revealed about both boys. Tunde saw people. Kunle saw only prizes. Tunde felt empathy. Kunle felt inconvenienced. After an hour of search, Tunde noticed something. A boy from the area that everybody called Snapchat was acting strangely. He'd changed his clothes in the middle of a hot afternoon. He wasn't participating in the search. His eyes couldn't meet anyone's gaze. Here is a truth about your life. Your conscience always speaks before your consequences arrive. The question is whether you are listening. Tunde confronted him, and after some pressure, they found the money hidden in Snapchat's socks. The whole area erupted. People wanted to call the police, to beat him, to make an example of him. But Tunde did something unexpected. He begged for mercy. He is still young, Tunde pleaded with the area chairman. If we hand him to the police now, we are not just punishing him, we are ending him. Let's correct him here. Let's give him a chance to change. Kunle was disgusted. You are wasting your time on a thief. Some people are just bad. Lock him up and forget about him. Tunde looked at his friend with sadness. That's where you are wrong. Nobody is born bad. People become what their choices make them. Today, it's Snapchat we caught. Tomorrow, it could be anyone, even us. The difference between a good man and a bad man is often just one choice, one moment, one decision to do the right thing or the easy thing. This is where their paths truly began to diverge. Tunde believed in redemption. Kunle believed in convenience. Tunde saw potential in people. Kunle saw people as disposable. Now the second lesson. How you treat people when they fall reveals what kind of man you are becoming. Part 3. The graduation of choices. By the time they reached SS3, The differences between Tunde and Kunle had deepened like roots, growing in opposite directions. Tunde's part. Tunde studied like his life depended on it, because it did. Why Kunle partied? Tunde read. Why Kunle chased girls and showed off at clubs? Tunde was in the library. Why Kunle slept under noon on weekends? Tunde woke at 5 a.m. to study. People mocked him. Look at this one. Reading like Mumu. School cannot guarantee success in Nigeria. School na better scam. You need connections, real ones. You need money. You need to wise up, bro. But Tunde understood something that they didn't. The sacrifice you refuse to make today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. He wasn't studying to pass exams. He was building a foundation. He was shaping his mind. He was developing discipline. That invisible muscle that separates boys from men, dreamers from achievers, the living from the dead. On the other hand, Kunle's part. Kunle believed in shortcuts. Why study when you can buy exam questions? Why work hard when you can work smart? Why struggle when your father's money can pave the way? 2 weeks before their WAEC exams, a boy in their school approached Kunle with an offer. Complete exam questions and answers for 50,000 naira per subject. Are you in? Kunle didn't hesitate. He took his father's credit card and paid for the runs in all his subjects. Clean, clear. When someone told Tunde about the same offer, he refused immediately. I am not building my future on lies. Whatever I become, it will be real or it will be nothing. Here is the brutal truth that every young man must face. Shortcuts cut short your destiny. Yeah. Part 4, the consequences began. Examination day arrived. The WAEC supervisor that year were stricter than usual. New policies, random searches, zero tolerance for cheating. 30 minutes into the mathematics exam, a supervisor caught Kunle with his phone hidden in his calculator case. Hey. Everything exploded. They seized his phone, tore up his answer sheet, and reported him to WAEC headquarters straight. The punishment was devastating. All his papers cancelled. Not just mathematics, every single subject. His entire WAEC registration void. 3 years of secondary school erased in 30 minutes because of 30 seconds of foolishness. Tunde wrote his exams with a clear conscience. No shortcuts, no cheating, no fear. Just his brain, his preparation, and his faith in God Almighty. Results came out 3 months later. Tunde had 7 A's, 2 B's, and admission into the University of Lagos to study pharmacy. Kunle, on the other hand, no result, no certificate, just full-blown shame. His father was livid. I gave you everything, and this is what you do? You've disgraced this family. His mother cried for days. But the worst part wasn't the disappointment in their eyes. It was the disappointment Kunle saw when he looked in the mirror. For the first time in his life, his father's money couldn't fix his problem. The realization was crushing. Some consequences cannot be bought away. Some mistakes must be faced. Kunle had to register to write WAEC again the following year. But something had broken inside him. The shame of being held back, of watching his former classmates move forward while he stayed behind, ate at him like acid. Part 5, the descent. Why Tunde entered university and began building his future. Kunle spiraled. He was supposed to be studying for his second attempt at WAEC, but shame is a terrible companion. It whispers lies in your ears. It tells you you are worthless. It tells you you are too far to catch up. The boy you are today shapes the man you will become tomorrow. A life-defining story for every Nigerian teenage boy.